All right, for today's video review, we're going to start taking a look at Transformers Power of the Primes Predaking. Now, this guy, weirdly enough, just got a reissue a few weeks ago, so I figured it would be relevant to take a look at this guy. Now, for obvious reasons, I'm going to be taking a look at each of them individually, not all of them in one video, so we can actually, get to the nitty-gritty of each guy as a singular figure. So for this video, we're just going to be taking a look at Razorclaw. We'll start off with the boss there, and then we'll add each of them on as we go. But yeah, this is what they all look like together. I'm probably not going to do this shot at the beginning of every video, but for the first one, I'll just start off with them all together. But yeah, so without further ado, we'll just get the rest of these guys off and just take a look at Razorclaw. And yeah, he is okay. I mean, he's weirdly enough, you wouldn't be able to tell from this mode, one of the better ones. I want to say that the leg guys are probably the best figures overall, and that he's maybe right after them, so kind of right down the middle, and then, Rampage and Dive Bomb are not great, but honestly, none of them are amazing. As you can see here with his very awkward looking lion mode here. Now they all do have sort of individual weapons which help make up the sort of combined mode stuff. And yeah, he comes with one half of the sort of, Predaking arm cannon here, and you can store it just by pegging onto the top here. Obviously, it is a silly weapon sticking off a robot lion, but I don't think it looks too out of place, especially considering what the rest of him looks like. But we'll just put that off to the side for now. And yeah, his lion mode is a little bit unconvincing, I would say. Like, the back legs are really awkward. He doesn't have a tail at all. The front legs are just these little stubs. Like, yeah, I mean, obviously, the original Predacons were all a little bit like boxy and robotic. Like, they didn't really have, like proper proportions of their respective animals, but even this guy it's pretty rough. I mean, he's got these feet panels just sticking out the back here. But yeah, in terms of articulation, the jaw can open and close. You can untab the head and like move it around, just because of how it like swings around for transformation. But I don't know. I don't think it looks really all that good because the angle, the axis is all weird, but whatever. The front legs here do end up being the robot mode arms. So you can kind of fold them back like that, not forward. I mean, you can adjust these cannons, I guess, and like flip these around so you could have them go in other directions, but they are kind of supposed to stay like this. He does have a knee joint here and a thigh swivel. But that's about it. It's not really much you can actually do with these aside from like get one of them going slightly back, I guess. But yeah, you can't like prowl or anything. And then the back legs here will end up being the robot mode legs, but they are very hindered. They can kind of just hinge in and out like this, and then they can't really go out to the side. He does have a knee joint that goes about that far, and then the foot itself is on a clicky ratchet joint for some reason that gets, about that range. But again, you're not really getting a whole lot of dynamic posing out of this guy, especially in lion mode. But so that's the lion mode, for better or for worse. Definitely for worse. But yeah, I would say he's one of the less convincing, at least in alt mode. But his robot mode, I'd say, is maybe the best one. But we'll get to that when we get to that. In terms of comparisons in this mode, I'll just bring down the camera here a bit. Here he is with Kingdom Sideswipe, just so you can see what he looks like with an average size deluxe. So the one thing about these guys is that they are huge. Like, they tower over figures, especially in robot mode, but you can just tell, like, he's basically, they're all essentially kind of leader scale figures when it comes down to it. But yeah, so that's what he looks like with him. Here he is with Studio Series 86 Megatron, so you can see what the two of them look like together, and I feel like that looks fairly good. And then for another lion comparison, here he is with Legacy something or other, Lio Convoy. So you can see definitely a more convincing looking lion mode here, but obviously they're going for very different aesthetics. But yeah, that's what the two of them look like together. to get onto transformation, I'm gonna do all the combined mode stuff in its own like Predaking video, so I'm just gonna skip all that for now. I'm just gonna be showing off their alt modes and their robot modes. But yeah, for him, basically what you want to do is you want to take these panels on the legs here and unfold them. They just tab into the like air slots for the mushroom pegs, and that basically gives you the clearance to untab these bits from here and then rotate them down. You want to take the lion feet and fold them all the way up so they sit on the inside of the legs, and then just bring it around, and then this slot here will tab into this tab right there. You kind of have to futz with it a little bit just to get the knee lined up, and then just do that on both sides, obviously. And that's his leg transformation. These guys do have some clever tricks. I just think that they're not totally baked through, because they don't result in like the best looking modes for each of them. They definitely have a lot of compromises. We can take the lion head and just untab it, rotate it around, and then just tab it back in here on the chest. Take the front legs here of the lion and rotate them forward and down like this, and then you take these the cannons here. They're just on these little rotating and hinging armatures here, and you rotate them around and then fold them around like that so they stick up on the shoulders just like that. And then we can rotate it so the back of the lion leg is facing forward, and then flip out the robot mode hand there just like that. And then last but not least, we'll just take his robot mode head, flip it up, and turn it around. And there we have Razorclaw in his robot mode. And yeah, in general, I think he looks decent. Again, I do think that he is the best looking of the lot of them in robot mode. And even that is like, he's not amazing. He's pretty chunky in the middle, but other than that, he's okay. He's got a nice simple head sculpt here. Like, I don't really mind that it doesn't have like a lot of extra detail, because it looks like how he looked in the show. But yeah, in terms of articulation, the head is on a swivel here, and then you can use that transformation joint if you want to kind of have him look up a little bit. The shoulders are on swivels and can hinge out to the side. He's got bicep swivel, about 90 degrees of bend at the elbow. The wrist can only bend in. He does not have a waist joint because of how everything unfolds for combined mode. He's got hip skirts here that can move out of the way, and you can have him rotate his legs forward and back and out to the side. He's got a thigh swivel there internally, less than 90 degrees of bend at the knee, which is kind of unfortunate. And then he does have ankle tilts, which is nice. That was another thing, is like, oh, they clearly had the priority of giving all of these guys ankle tilts, kind of similar to how they did with Devastator. But yeah, he's okay looking. You can give him his big weapon here, and he can hold it in his hand just like that, although it's a little bit, yeah, the peg's a little bit shallow for him to hold, but he can hold it okay. And then unfortunately, there really is nowhere to store it at all in robot mode. It would really be as simple as just like giving him a slot right here to peg on this like square peg to, but they didn't do that. He doesn't have any just like pegs that he can peg it onto. I guess maybe that, no, that doesn't really fit. I mean, I think that fits that spot, but it's A, too loose, and B, kind of bumps into everything here. So that's, the rest of them, they don't all really have intentional storage for their things, but they at least have some place where you can put it, whereas he really doesn't, because all of his like extra pegs and slots and things get kind of hidden. So yeah, unfortunately, you can't really do anything with this in this mode, and that kind of bites. But I don't know, it's probably not the worst issue about these guys. But yeah, unfortunately, you really can't do anything with the gun other than put it in his hand in robot mode. But yeah, like I said, he's an okay figure, but he's definitely, a bit compromised. The alt mode, I think, is maybe the worst one, if not the second worst one, maybe below Rampage. I don't know. But the robot mode is also maybe the best, and even that is not amazing. So these guys are very very compromised for the sake of the combined mode. But in terms of comparisons in this mode, here he is again with Kingdom Sideswipe, so you can see he absolutely towers over figures here. Here he is with 86 Megatron. You can see he's about as tall as he is. He's maybe like a few, like a millimeter shorter at the top of the head. and he's one of the smaller ones too. So yeah, they're really big guys, which, you know, I don't know how people feel about that scaling, because I think that usually you'd want Megatron, or I guess Galvatron, to tower over him a little bit more. But yeah, you know, I don't mind them being kind of big guys. But yeah, that's what the two of them look like together. And then for posterity's sake, here he is again with Lio Convoy. I'm going to show them off with each of the other like individual Predacons, like in, you know, as we go. So I'm not having to transform all 5 of them back and forth twice for every video. So we'll, you know, in their next video, we'll show him off with whichever one I'm looking at then. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to him as an individual robot. Like I said, not a great alt mode, decent-ish robot mode, even by today's standards. Like, he's not great either, but he just is better than the other 4. But yeah, I don't know, he's okay. This is not an incredible set. Like, I think it makes a decently nice Predaking. Even that has a few compromises, but I definitely think if they wanted to do new Predaking, they could definitely like do it a little bit better nowadays. And I'm a little bit skeptical of them re-releasing Power of the Primes Predaking, because it sort of feels like the kind of thing where it's just like, oh, let's get another use out of this set before making better molds, right? Like how they re-released a box set of like Volcanicus from Power of the Primes right before they started doing the Studio Series 86 Dinobots. So it's like, yeah, I don't know, I think they're kind of trying to fool people here. Like, I do think it could be a few years before we get a new Predaking, but honestly, I don't know if I would like really jump on the box set now, especially because it's like, what, like $230 or something like that, like more than our current asking price for Titans, I guess, before tariffs or whatever. But you know, I think that if you haven't had any exposure to this set before, you might, and you're used to kind of like modern engineering and things like that, you might be a little bit disappointed by this set. But if you just want a big, kind of cool looking Predaking, like, it's decent, but I don't know. Like I said, I'll kind of show these guys off individually so you can make your own decision about that. But this has never been like the most well-baked set, honestly. And Razorclaw is, I think he's indicative of the rest of them. He's got an okay looking robot mode, a not great looking alt mode, but he's okay. He's big. That's like the main thing they have going for them. But yeah, anyway, enough rambling out of me. If you enjoy my videos, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. I do reviews every Tuesday and Thursday. And without further ado, here we have Transformers Power of the Primes Razorclaw.